What's going on, kings and queens? It's your boy Byron, CEO of Self-Rise Enterprise, and today we are back with another video. And today we are going to be breaking down the life of Jean-Michel Basquiat. Please forgive me if I messed his name up. Jean-Michel Basquiat.
2,000 years later.
Jean-Michel Basquiat.
6.5 hours later.
Jean-Michel Basquiat.
A few inches later.
We're finna go ahead and break down the prolific life of not just only a black artist, but just the artist in general. One of the best artists to ever live. And what's funny about this is I didn't learn this in high school. I didn't learn this in middle school. This was all self-taught, man. No one ever taught me about this man. No one ever told me the life he lived and just how much we can pull from his life. Today we're going to be breaking down 5 lessons that we can pull from his life, but we're going to give the 5 lessons at the end. So make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end, and let's get right into it. All right, so in 1960, Jean-Michel Basquiat was born to a Haitian father, and his mother was Puerto Rican, right? He was born in Brooklyn Hospital, okay? He grew up in Park Slope, Brooklyn, okay? His mother, Matilda, was interested in fashion and design, and she would sometimes scribble and doodle a lot of different things. Little did she know she was sparking greatness within her son by applying these habits as far as pushing her passions onto her son. We're going to continue to see exactly what he did. So Jean-Michel Basquiat, he was hit by a car at a young age when he was playing baseball in the streets. And basically, he broke his arm, he broke his spleen. He pretty much, they fucked him up.
My whole life, I went to school and I came home and that was it, you know? Like I really didn't have any friends or anything. I just kind of like just stayed home and went to school, over and over again. I went to the movies once in a while.
Yeah, and so you started drawing as a way of.
Well, no, I always enjoyed drawing, you know. But what I'm saying is, I couldn't really do anything, you know. So once I left home, you know, so I started doing all that drinking and throwing bottles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and drawing on the streets.
Yeah.
Which was so. And that was rooted in a frustration?
I'd say so.
And does that spirit carry over into your paintings, do you think?
Well, I hope so.
This was pretty much a turning point in his life. He spent 1 month in the hospital, right? During this time in the hospital, he was able to receive the book by his mom called Grey's Anatomy. Basically, Grey's Anatomy is breaking down the detailed structures of the human body. Let's continue. Later, he calls his group Grey. He had a group. They did dabble into music here and there, and he ended up calling that same group Grey. The same book his mom gave him when he was hit by a car when he was a kid. So this is just the genesis of Jean-Michel Basquiat, and basically, it's just to say that his mother started the seed for him to become one of the greatest artists to ever live. Let's not forget, again, man, it's really how you bring your kids up is what you install in your child, and it's what you become as a child. That's why the things that we grow up doing, we end up loving. It's a reflection of how we looked at them as a child. Like, when I get up and do this board talk, man, I love doing this board talk. I love being able to research, get my knowledge together, and, you know what I'm saying, be able to learn for myself, but also take that knowledge that I apply for myself and be able to show everybody that's watching this video. So let's continue on and let's go off into basically the middle of his life. And again, this video is more so to break down a brief summary of his life. If I'm wrong on the dates, or if I'm wrong with the times or events, we can use his strategies, we can use his failures, we can use his examples on how he went in life to apply it in ours. That's why we're breaking down his life, and that's why we're being able to dissect the history in which he lived, whether it was good or bad. We're taking his flaws and we're taking his successes, and we're being able to throw it all in one bottle. So let's go ahead and continue. I'm gonna say that again. So right now, this is the intro of the early days, right? So now we're going to go off into we're gonna go off into the starving artist slash Samo. Alright, so what is the starving artist slash Samo? Right? What is the starving artist slash Samo? In 1977, while he was in high school, he was involved with a drama group. Alright? The name of this drama group was called Family Life Theater. This was in Upper Manhattan, New York. Okay? This is where he created his alter ego, Samo.
We had met up with some girl named Elizabeth. I'm gonna exclude her last name, but her folks, they like to smoke weed, right? Her parents, and they lived right. But we're like young kids, and we're like, we found that to be novel, you know. It's like, okay, let's go to her. And they lived in a loft in Tribeca when it was like tumbleweed central. Nobody lived down there. So we'd go over and smoke weed with Elizabeth's folks. Her father was a videographer. He was like a Fluxus artist. They were interesting people. But it got really tired. The whole scene was kind of like Groundhog Day. It was always like the same thing, right? It's like, he's gonna say this, and she's gonna do that. So we thought it was funny, you know. Yeah. And we came up with this thing. We'd say, okay, we're going to go over to Samo's house, you know, because it was the same old shit every time. And that's where that Samo thing came from. Yeah. But it morphed. It didn't. By the time it became something. It was just a word at that. You know. Yeah. By the time it became Samo as a graffiti thing.
Now, Samo is basically an alter ego. And the fiction character is basically made to say he is a person who sells fake religion.
Writing for the school newspaper, we did one edition that was about like the occult, religions, or just spiritual stuff. So Jean writes this short story about a guy who sells religions. He's like on top of the Papaya King on 42nd Street in a little office selling religions. It's got like the 2-for-1 Buddhist sale. So yeah, he was a great writer. So the religion of the day, or the special for the day was Samo. You know, that was like a special religion. It was like you do anything you want, and then when you go to the pearly gates, you say, I didn't know. This is so, and then the rest is history. Then we just kept elaborating on what the Samo was. It morphed, it developed, and what it eventually became was, like, if you read the Samos in this room, you'll see that it's like this product that offers all kinds of stuff. But it's a product. It is not a tag of a person.
He's a person who's selling fake religion. And basically, this is where he starts to push his art throughout New York and push his teachings of Samo. He's basically expressing all capabilities of life, and being that he's writing on anything that's moving in New York City, along with him and thousands of other people.
I instigated the idea of let's write this stuff around, you know, and he was game for it because because Jean was kind of a little bit sheltered to some degree. He came from a middle class family. He was not, you know, a ghetto kid or of any kind, and he didn't participate in that. And this was like a chance for him to be involved with that, you know. And but he wasn't outside. I mean, we were all outsiders in a sense, but he was a fairly socially, you know. He had social skills. He was always hanging out with different people and laughing, and he seemed fairly, you know, content as a human being.
He continues to push his art everywhere. His father wishes him luck. Why does his father wish him luck? Because in high school, he was very rebellious, and he also believed in seeing life through his eyes and not being under no rules. So he was quickly kicked out of high school at 17, and he got kicked out the house. After he left his parents' house, he moved out on the streets, and he was basically, you know, living with friends and also continuing to do his passion and live his dream, pushing art and pushing his beliefs and how he saw life. when he's homeless, he's here and there. You know what I'm saying? He continues to sell art on postcards. He's trying to get money. He's trying to hustle up anything he can. You know what I'm saying? So he moves in his first apartment towards 78 or whatever, and he starts going to certain clubs. Now the first club was Mud Club and Club 57, 57, being on the scene and being heard of and being basically the one who is standing out and he's being seen, you know what I'm saying? And so he's pushing his passion, doing the things that he loves. He's not living life on anyone else's terms but his.
Your identities remained anonymous until 1978.
79.
79.
No, 78.
Okay.
You're right. 78 it was. It was December of 78 that the article came out.
And tell me about that article and why you guys decided to.
Well, we didn't decide. It was kind of Jean went ahead and decided, and we had to. Actually, I was talking to a friend of mine whose younger sister. I think I was piercing her ears, and she remembers me and Jean like arguing about whether or not why I didn't want to go to the press while I'm piercing her ear. So she really remembers that.
The very specific memory that you have attached to that.
I was like putting a needle with an ice cube in her earlobe.
And why didn't you want to go to the press?
Because I thought it was kind of against the whole idea. For me, it was just like, that's kind of like we're selling out. I mean, this is a 19-year-old talking, right? But Jean was very career-oriented and he was looking for that attention. And in that respect, we had two different, very, very different philosophies about the things. So, I mean, it's like this. Jean-Michel, after that, after it became this thing where there was, people were kind of, fascinated about the whole Samo thing as an entity, used it as a springboard for his career. Mm-hmm. Identified himself as Samo, which was kind of against the idea because Samo was never intended to be a personality. It was a product, an ever-morphing product that was an alternative to this, an end to that. It could be anything, but it was not a person.